Hello, this is Steve again. This is my latest layout update. I've done about another 8 to 10 feet of scenery here in my lower deck, and what I've put in here is a valley town by the name of Mooresburg. This is about 10 miles east of Milton, Pennsylvania, and the real town couldn't be more than a couple hundred people, but it's a little bit west of Danville and east of Milton, just south of Interstate 80. The real town kind of sits up on a little bit of a hilltop, and if you look at Google Earth, there's a road that kind of comes down to the south and crosses what at one time was the Catawissa branch. And the original station was located just like it is there. So here was my prior video, the rendition of the Rupert interchange with the Lackawanna. And I continued the scenery here. And you can see I put in some fields, put in a farm, and then what I'm hoping going forward can be my rendition of inexpensive, vast cornfields. And I'll talk a little bit about that. Up here in the town, I've just got several houses. I've got the one-room brick schoolhouse, which is still there, and just a few homes and so on, nothing exciting. And I then have the cornfields that I've put in right here, and I'm going to need to do a little bit more work on them. This is a work in progress. I'm kind of learning how to do it. I think it's going to be an effective way to make mass-produced cornfields, but it's going to take some practice and some tinkering with my technique, I think, to get it perfectly right. Anyhow, so I probably put in a good 6 or 7 feet widthwise a cornfield here. And then we got the Mooresburg Depot here, right there. And as far as these kits and homes, let's see here. That I think is an Atlas kit. The schoolhouse I scratch built. These next two are 3D printed ones I got off the internet and then painted and weathered, as is this one. And this blue one's some kit of unknown origin here. But I like how that town turned out. It's a little bit similar to how it looks if you were to go there in real life back in the day. None of the buildings are accurate or anything, it's just a rendition. And we got the cornfields, and I'll show how I made those. And there's some more cornfield. And then I've got like soybean type fields in here, got some static grass in here, and so on. Now, so here's how I did the cornfields, if anyone has interest in this. I looked all over the internet, I looked at everywhere I could find. How do you do them? If you look way back in the video, on the other side of the layout, I had purchased plastic corn stalks from was either Walther's or Bluford shops, I think. But good Lord, they are so expensive. I mean, to do like a 3x5 area is like, I can't remember, like 15 or 20 bucks for 3x5 inches of cornfields. And in my prior video, you can see them, and they look really good. They're done in strips like these are, but to get enough to do something like this, you'd have to be, pretty well off to afford it, and it just isn't practical. So what I did here was I did my basic landforms below the fields here, like I usually do. I used cardboard strips. Actually, the town is on several pieces of gator foam that I cut to size and put up on risers. It's about 3 inches above the rest of the scenery. And then I used, you know, the cardboard strip method, hot glue gun, brown paper bag sections for the base, and then I put a coat of plaster impregnated gauze over it to make it firm, and it's pretty firm. And then I got some dark brown craft paint, painted the whole thing. And then I did these in strips. And it really didn't take that long. I fixed the strips that I made with a hot glue gun. And I just had to keep doing it and doing it over and over until I got the look I wanted. There's a farm scene up there too, by the way. That's an old house I kit bashed probably 30 years ago, an old farmhouse. I probably need to do some renovation on it. The barn, I think, is a plastic kit I got here in the last several months. Anyhow, here's how I did the cornfields. So I went to Home Depot specifically, and I purchased about 3 square yards of their outdoor green turf material. Here is the outdoor green turf material, and that's what it looks like. And these things here are probably about an inch, inch and a half long. And they've actually got some brownish coloration in them. And it's not very expensive. It's like maybe, it's probably 20 bucks or less. It's probably less than 20 bucks a square yard. Now these are all affixed to some type of a plastic matting material that's done in rows. So if you look at this, you can see that the fibers of the grass are separated by these plastic grooves, and all I do is take a utility knife and cut these individually to get a strip like this. Here's a strip, just like that. Looks a little bit like corn, it's not exact. But then what I do, and this is what takes a lot of practice, I get a good sharp pair of scissors and I cut a lot of this extra out. This one's not been done yet. I go down the sides like this side, and then I try to get it about 6 or 8 feet high. So out of all that grass material, I'm sure I eliminate at least half of it. Just with a pair of scissors. Doesn't take very long. Then when that's done, I'll do several, maybe 8 or 10 at a time till I get tired of doing it. But I really like how that kind of looks. You know, as individual corn stalks, it's really not very convincing, but I feel like when you put them in a mass field, it kind of gives you kind of the look you're looking for. So that's what these are, is the stalks, and you can see I've cut them down considerably if you look at them. And then what I do after they're cemented in, I just used hot glue. I took some yellowish brown acrylic paint and just dry brushed the tops of them to simulate the top of the corn stalk. So anyhow, this really was fairly fast, fairly efficient. I might have put in 2 or 3 hours max on this entire field here. And you're talking about, here's probably less than $20 of materials. So is it perfect? Not really. I'm probably going to have to go back, and because if you look up close, you can see the plastic strips on the side. I'm either going to use Sculptamold or paintable latex caulk. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to try to even those out so that I blend the ground up to the side of the strips, and then I'll just make sure it's the same color as what it's supposed to be for the corn. So anyhow, I've seen this technique alluded to on the internet, but I've never really seen anybody do it. Am I 100% happy with it? I'd say I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'd give it a good 80%. And I think the more I do of it, I should get better at it. And I may even come up with some other techniques, particularly to get the strips to blend better to the base scenery. But they're in there pretty firmly. They're not going anywhere. And I take my shop vac, and you can go in with scissors between the rows and thin it out even more. Just vacuum up the excess. And so that's just an idea. I'm not a professional, but I like, to a degree, to 80% probably, how it turned out. So anyway, that might be helpful to some people, because that's something I don't see a lot modeled, or expansive fields like that. And I think it's because there's really not been a great way to do them in the past that's at least reasonably inexpensive. So take a panorama around here real quick. I'm gonna have a broom in the way here, but broom handle, but that's where we're at right now. So thanks for watching. I hope you folks have a good day.